What's up, guys? It's Missy, and we're actually going to talk about tips and tricks today on SimCity Build It. I did do a video about tips and tricks for this game. I didn't think of a lot of the things that I wanted to say during that video, so I wanted to go ahead and make another one. In this one, you might, if you watched the previous video, you might hear things that I've already said in the previous video. This video will probably have a part 1 and part 2, just kind of depends on how quickly I can get it all, out to you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Like, subscribe. If you guys have any questions on anything in the video, put it in the comments below. If you guys want me to do a video on a specific topic that I haven't already done a video on, or that you want me to elaborate on, I will. Just go ahead and let me know that in the comments below. And let's go ahead and get started on this video. So my first tip to you guys is going to be to stay low level as long as you can to upgrade your storage and your your storage and your dozer. I'm sure a lot of you know this. The ones that don't, the reason for this is because storage is super hard to unlock later on, because the algorithm of the game only allows you to... the rare find is so low at later on. So level 8 is actually going to be the level that you're going to want to camp at if you can, because that is the highest level of rare find that you can get. Now, if you went above level 8, that's fine. If you went beyond level 25, you're going to probably want to make a feeder city, because you're going to find a lot less rares once you hit level 25, especially by level 30. The rare find is going to drop drastically. All right, so second tip. When upgrading your homes, being how you want to camp at low level, do not lay out a ton of construction zones. And the reason that I say this is because when you unlock the epic challenges, and for those of you who do not know, an epic challenge is a house that regenerates a piece of a token every 24 hours. This is good for a lifetime, and you have to reach a certain tier to determine which type of token you're going to regenerate on your house. Now, when you upgrade a regular house, a regular residential. So once you hit a certain population, you'll unlock the airport, and you'll be able to build London, Tokyo, Paris. Then you'll unlock Omega later on, and then as you unlock your regional maps, you'll be able to build those types of homes. The only home that you guys can do an epic challenge project on is a regular house, the first one, okay? Has to be fully upgraded. So if you lay out a bunch of construction zones, you're not going to be able to do these epics very easily. You're going to have to continue to upgrade, and then that means you're going to have to continue to level up, which is what you don't want to do. Now, you're going to want to camp at low level to not only get your storage up and your dozer, but those epic projects as well, and to unlock your shops. And that kind of goes into my third tip, and that is shops. People say, how many slots should I buy? What should I do? Should I upgrade it? Is it worth it? Yes, yes, and yes. You guys want to upgrade these shops as soon as possible. There's nothing really that you can spend your cash on better than upgrading your shops. Okay? Because here's the thing. When you first start playing, you're not going to be able to compete in the contest of mayors. You're going to have to earn all of your cash. If you don't buy it with real cash, you're going to have to earn it through the mayor's mansion here, and do these achievements to receive cash. Yes, it gives you a decent amount, but it doesn't give you a whole lot. So you want to spend it wisely. And the wisest that you can spend this isn't on fancy buildings that look kind of cool. You can do that later. You want to get the mechanics of your city set up first. So you're going to want to unlock your shops. These slots here, some stores are going to be more beneficial to you early on than later. So your barn is probably your biggest moneymaker shop in the game, hands down, and that is because it runs your flour production. Flour is basically the most profitable item in the game, okay? You're going to convert the flour into donuts, and that's going to be basically that's what you're going to focus your moneymaker on. That's why you unlock it early on, is because that one donut pays 950 simoleons. Now, there are other items that pay more simoleons, but the time conversion, they're not more beneficial and they're not as profitable, okay? So that's what you're going to want to unlock. If you're like, well, I have trouble selling this or that, you don't actually have to sell it right away, okay? You can go over here, and this, again, is going to be something you're going to want to spend your cash on, is unlocking some depot slots. And you can do, you don't have to unlock all 32 at once. That's 320 cash. Or, well, you start with 6, I think. So, I mean, it's not too bad. But unlock them as you go, and go all the way, maybe to the right, and just put all your stuff for sale, and don't advertise it. Now, for those of you who don't know what this means, when you go to post something for sale, and this is going to go into our next tip here, it's going to give you a baseline price on every item. So this one says a suit is worth 877 coins. I'm going to go ahead and hold down on this plus sign here, and it's going to put it at the maximum price. Then I can pick the quantity that I want to sell. I'm just going to go ahead and post. I'm going to hold it down, see how many I have. Okay, I have 3. And then I'm going to click off this little blue check mark here. This is going to put it to where no one can access my depot from the global trade. Okay. So once I put that for sale, you'll see that it does not have a global symbol. Now, anybody who is on your Facebook friends list or in a group with you can access your depot. Keep that in mind. When adding people on Facebook, if you've joined any recent SimCity Build It groups on Facebook, or you have people sending you friend requests saying to be your neighbor, do that very vigilantly, because they will ransack your depot. If you're posting things maybe for group members and it sits there a while, it will be gone. They'll check your city regularly, and they'll buy up any rares you've posted for somebody or whatever. So keep that in mind, and you're probably just thinking, well, I'll just unfriend them then. Well, yeah, that would be nice in a perfect world, but lovely SimCity has some bugs that hasn't worked out yet, and I've unfriended people and had it not sync up for 6 months, or ever for that matter. And I've also had it to where I've removed people off my friends list, and they're, a good friend of mine, and we just wanted to unsync our cities to do a test. And here we are a year down the road, and we're not friends. And he can still access my city, but I can't access his. It doesn't show him on my friends list. So keep that in mind when you add people, that you might get stuck with them. And if it's somebody who's causing you a lot of issues, it's probably not wise to add them. Now, you're going to want to check Daniel's shop every day, every 24 hours, because he posts items for sale that are at baseline price. So even if it's an item that you don't necessarily want, buy it. Buy it at baseline and up it and max it out. Next tip, always max out your items. Always. Okay? There's no reason to put an item any lower than max. And the reason for it, okay, yeah, it might sell faster. Maybe you just want it out of your storage. Now, why can't it just sit in your depot maxed out, and it'll be gone within 48 hours from Daniel, and it'll be gone in 24 hours from Daniel if you've already advertised it once? If you're that adamant and you really don't want it, yeah, you can put it up for pennies if you want, but you are losing out on money. Now, that is going to go into our next tip here, and I'm going to show you guys how to lower the price faster. Now, some of you already know this, okay? It's pretty simple. When you go up to an item here, like I said, it's going to start you at baseline price. Let's say I want to post 5 saps for 5 pennies. I'm not going to do the quantity first like this and then lower the price, because that means I have further to go. Start at 1, lower the price to 1, and then up the quantity. Okay, it doesn't increase the price when you do that. So that's the fastest way to do that. If you're trying to give simoleons in this game, same concept. You're going to sell the item for max to the person. They're going to post it to you for pennies. And then you're just going to keep swapping it. So obviously you're going to want to pick your most expensive item that you have unlocked to do that. There is a building trick to earning money in this game. This is the route that I chose to go. I do and don't recommend it. It really depends on the player that you are. Now, when I went to my first tip and I told you guys to camp low level to get your storage unlocked, that is true, okay? However, what's going to end up happening is the only way that you guys are going to have coins is through production, okay? Because taxes, they don't really pay a whole lot of coins. It's not like the earlier SimCities where you get your vast majority of your money through taxes. So I'll show you guys here. This pays me 26,000 for 6 million and 6.1 residents. That's not anything. Okay. That's like a stack of hamburgers and a drink. It's nothing. So don't focus on that. If you want to focus on population because that's just your goal and you just want to see how high of a pop that you can receive, fine, but don't do it for money purposes because it will run. You won't get rich, okay? This game was focused and around items. There is a production chart that you guys can look up on Google. If I can find it, I will put it in the description below. But it should be fairly easy to find because I studied it for a very long time. And it actually converts every item down into minutes. And it tells you, which ones are going to turn the most profit. I did do a video on that. So if you guys are wondering, what items to make through each shop, go check that video out. But I'm not going to elaborate on that too much further. But back to what I was saying about the residentials. So another way that you can earn money early on, and you're going to give up your right to unlocking your storage early on. Okay, so you might want to think about this one. Now, early on, you are going to earn a lot of your simoleons through residential upgrades. Now, later on, upgrades don't pay you jack, okay? They cost you money. So as you can see, if I want to upgrade this, I got to look at the list of items I have to have. That's actually fairly cheap compared to what it usually is. So I'm going to travel to a regional city and I'll show you, but it'll usually ask for like 3 fire pits, 1 bread roll, 3 backpacks, 2 cheese. I mean, it's a lot, okay? And it only gives me like 1,000 coins in return. So I've well exceeded that with just the 1 fire pit. So you're not going to get paid for your upgrades once you hit a certain point. And I believe that's like level, I want to say like 35 is where it starts to get more expensive to upgrade homes. Now, early on, and this is a good trick that you can use to get some quick coins if you want. But what you're going to do is you're going to set down a new construction zone. And if it asks you for like 5 nails, for example, go ahead, do the upgrade. It'll pay you $1,000. Okay. Bulldoze it. Set up another construction zone. And you can do 1 or 2 upgrades, but after the 3rd upgrade, it starts to ask for a lot. So you just keep working like 3 main construction zones and bulldozing, and you're going to get massive amounts of coins. Okay. It'll be like a tape measure and a hammer or a nail and a metal, and you're getting $1,000 every time. And so I did supply when I first started the game, I didn't really do a whole lot of research. I was in a club. I was vice president in a group, and I was supplying them with, it was back when the war had first got launched, okay? And we were all, going broke through war, and I was able to supply everybody in my club with coins. They're like, how do you always have so much money? And that's how, okay? But later on, I kind of screwed myself because I hadn't unlocked my storage. So if you do have your storage unlocked, or once you get it unlocked and you're still at low level, that is a great way to earn coins when you want to start leveling up. So again, put that construction zone down, do your upgrade, bulldoze it, put it down again. And this is going to go into my next tip with the Omega, and that is if you have an Omega assignment for comm, and a lot of these Omega homes can ask for a lot of Omega items, okay? They can get very spendy to upgrade. So if it says like upgrade 3 Omega and you're like, oh my God, that's going to be so expensive, you don't have to do it that way. You can get that assignment done very fast by just placing down a new construction home, and it will always only ask for 1 Omega item. Then you can bulldoze it and do it again. Now, a lot of people may not be fond of this, but it really just depends on what your focus is. Like if it's something that you want to keep, if it's something you don't care, how badly you want the points, because they are high point assignments. It all just depends on you. So another tip is, and a lot of you probably know this, when you're doing this right here and you're putting these down, you don't have to drag one down and then go back up and drag another one down. You can just drag it down and pull it across all the boxes and it will line them all up. Okay. Quite a few people in my group actually did not know that. These buildings here, I've seen a lot of people in the group ask, there's buildings here that are actually on the water. These are not residential homes. They are a part of the mayor's pass, the previous pass, okay? So if you don't already have them, you cannot get them. My next tip, and this is going to be the end of the video until part 2, is to always read the menu, okay? A lot of your questions would be answered if you would just read what was on your screen. Now, when you're placing a bridge, a lot of people have trouble placing a bridge. It has to be on top of water, okay? When you're doing your epic challenges, it tells you all the information you want to know right in front of you. But for some reason, people they overlook it. There is a FAQ section in the Contest of Mayors, and that tells you everything you need to know about war. And it doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the contest, but it tells you how the rankings work at the leagues and all that, which I have done a video on. But I'll show you how to get to that right here before I go ahead and end this video. Now, right here, see, how do I choose an assignment? If I choose the wrong assignment, I ran out, I failed, blah, blah, blah. How do the leagues work? You get the point. Now, here, see, it says change. There's anytime you see this little eye up here, that is an information button. Oh, I just unlocked something. Okay. You can actually store some buildings, like specialization buildings. You hold them down and you hit that little yellow arrow on the right-hand side, and it will put that building in storage. You can access it later. Now, another thing that a lot of you probably don't know, and I'm going to show you guys here. See how it has the number? That's obviously how many you have in storage. However, when you exceed... Oh, come on. I know I got them somewhere. Okay, well, when you exceed 9 of them, it will say 9 plus, or it'll just say 9. I can't remember if it has a plus. I think it does. Right there on the very bottom below the boost, it says in storage 8. It will only count up to 9 right here, but it will tell you how many that you have up there. So if you have 60 of them, it'll tell you right there. For some reason, they don't put it down below, which I think is ridiculous. But yes, they're there. You're not storing them for no reason. You're not missing out. They are still there. Again, if somebody would have read the menu, they would have seen that. So just always look around and try to do that. The factories here, this one unlocks 5 slots, and it's 20,000 to purchase. This one unlocks 5 slots, and it's 50,000 to purchase. So what's the difference? 1, the looks, and 2, the pollution square that it leaves on your screen. So right here, mine's leaving a large pollution square, which you can't actually tell because it's placed, but that's how big it is. So if I don't have my factories near homes, so it doesn't matter for me. But I also don't think it's worth it to increase it by 30,000 coins every factory that I'm going to purchase just to have that pollution square gone. So keep that in mind, that if you're really adamant on it, go ahead, but it's really not worth it to buy the other one. Buy the Omega resources. I've talked about this several times in my videos. So these are going to power all of your homes. They're much more beneficial and they save a lot of space. So buy those. These are basically water, power, sewer, things like that. The demand is lower for epic buildings. So, you know, if you have a ton of regular residents, it's going to demand more power, water, sewer. If you have a ton of epics, it's going to require a lot less, but it's going to give you the same amount of population, or actually higher. It's going to give you higher population. So that's really good. And on that note, I'm going to end this video. Go ahead and like, subscribe, check out part 2. And in part 2, we're going to talk about mostly, you know, like regions and just random tips. All right. Thank you for watching, and until next time.